Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Moms Making Money. This is Marli Klaus, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. One of the most asked questions that I get from those of you who are considering becoming a sleep consultant is how to choose the right certification program. And that is a great question. The number of sleep consultant certification programs has exploded in recent years, and it can feel overwhelming to try to figure out which one is the right fit for you. Trust me, I get it. Whenever I was looking at getting certified, I spent hours researching different programs, comparing curriculums, and trying to determine which one was going to best prepare me for success. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 critical things that you should consider whenever choosing a sleep consultant certification program. And I'm even throwing in a bonus 6th consideration at the end that may surprise you, but could make all the difference in your journey. What I'm sharing today comes not only from my own experience in choosing a certification program, but also from what we've learned at the Cradle Coach Academy after training over 500 sleep consultants since 2018. I've seen firsthand what makes the difference between somebody who gets certified and struggles to build a business versus somebody who gets certified and thrives. So grab your coffee or tea, find a comfy spot, and let's dive into these 5 essential considerations that will help you make this important decision with confidence. The first and arguably the most important factor to consider is the recognition and credibility of the certification program. Here's the thing. The sleep consulting industry is not regulated like, say, becoming a doctor or a lawyer. There isn't one universal governing body that oversees all sleep consultant certifications, but that doesn't mean that all programs are created equal. You want to look for a program that is recognized by respected industry organizations. At the Cradle Coach Academy, for example, we are approved by the International Association of Professional Sleep Consultants, which is kind of like the gold standard in our industry. Why does this matter? Well, let me tell you a quick story. One of our recent students had actually started another certification with a different program before coming to us. She was about halfway through whenever she connected with a hospital in her community that was looking to partner with a sleep consultant to support a program that they were working on for their patients. They asked about her certification, and when she told them the program she was going through, they let her know that they ideally wanted her to be trained through a program that was reviewed and accredited by a recognized organization in the field, such as IAPSC, which is the program that we are accredited through. She had to start all over with a recognized program, which is how she found us and started our program. So what should you look for specifically? The IAPSC has rigorous requirements for programs that they approve. They require a minimum of 80 hours of program training, which includes at least 50 hours of instruction and 30 hours of self-study and application. They also require a minimum of 50 hours of practicum working with real clients that can be measured and assessed. Beyond that, look for programs that include at least 12 assignments to track and assess your progress, a final project, evaluations from clients you've worked with, and where you have really solid testimonials from graduates. The curriculum itself should comprehensively cover the science of sleep, foundations of sleep, clear description of sleep techniques and methods, common sleep challenges, breastfeeding, nutrition, environment, behavior, emotional factors, postpartum depression, sleep safety, and very importantly, a clear distinction between medical and non-medical consulting. Do not be afraid to ask potential certification programs about their recognition and their requirements. A reputable program will be transparent about their credentials and happy to share this information with you. After all, your certification is the foundation of your business, and you want that foundation to be rock solid. I know from personal experience that going through the review and approval process with IAPSC is not a walk in the park. They have experts in the field who actually go into your program and review everything that is included and go through the entire process just as they would if they were a student of the program. And then they give valuable feedback based on what they see. And then they do another review process every 2 years to ensure that the programs are continuing to meet or exceed expectations. All right, so let's jump into the second crucial consideration, which is the range of sleep approaches that the program teaches. This is something that I wish I had paid more attention to whenever I was getting certified. Here's why this matters so much. Families are incredibly diverse with different values, parenting philosophies, cultural backgrounds, and unique children. There is absolutely no one size fits all approach to sleep. What works beautifully for one family might be completely wrong for another. When I first started working with clients, I quickly realized that having only one approach or a couple of very similar approaches severely limited who I could help. I remember one of my very early clients who was a mom that had a very strong attachment parenting values and who wanted a very gentle, gradual approach. While I was given very basic information about other approaches in my initial training, the more gentle approaches were covered just as an aside and not as in depth as the other approaches were. The methods that were really focused on in my initial certification were more structured and involved more crying than this mom was comfortable with. I felt stuck, unable to fully support her in a way that aligned with her parenting philosophy. That experience taught me how important it is to have a diverse toolkit of sleep approaches. When evaluating sleep consultant certification programs, you want to look for ones that teach multiple methods, from very gradual parent present approaches to more structured methods and everything in between. At the Cradle Coach Academy, we believe in teaching the full spectrum of sleep approaches because we know that that is what is going to allow our graduates to support any family that comes their way. We teach everything from sleep lady shuffle to shush pat, from pick up put down to controlled crying and fading. The goal is not to make you memorize a dozen different methods. The goal is actually to give you a comprehensive understanding of the principles behind each approach so that you can customize your recommendations for each unique family situation. The flexibility will not only allow you to become a more effective sleep consultant, but will also expand your potential client base significantly. So before you commit to a program, ask about the range of sleep approaches that they teach. If they're only teaching one or two methods or philosophies, that is a red flag that you may be limited in who you can help once you are certified. Okay, so the third thing to consider is the format of the program and how it aligns with your learning style. This may seem like something that is less important than the other two factors, but trust me, it can make or break your certification experience. We all learn differently. Some of us thrive with structure, accountability, and regular interaction with instructors and peers. Others prefer to work independently, moving at their own pace and diving deep into content on their own schedule. So I want to share something personal here. When I was getting certified, I chose a self-paced program because at the time, I was still working my super full-time corporate job and I had 3 young kids at home. I needed the flexibility to be able to study late at night after everyone else was in bed or early in the morning before the chaos of the day began. A rigid schedule with live classes simply would not have worked for my life at that time. But here's what I discovered. While I appreciated the flexibility, I really missed having regular contact with instructors and other students. There were times where I had questions or I wanted to discuss a case study more deeply, and I didn't have that opportunity. I made it work and I figured things out, but it wasn't ideal for my learning style. That experience is exactly why at the Cradle Coach Academy, we offer 2 different program options. We have a live interactive program with regular group calls, immediate feedback, and built-in accountability. And then we also have a self-study option for those who need maximum flexibility or prefer to learn independently. We have had students from other programs come to us after graduating from other certification programs because they felt like they didn't get what they needed simply because their learning style was not accommodated in the structure of the program they originally went through. And so that is definitely something that, again, while it may seem like it's less important, it definitely is a critical piece of the learning process. So when evaluating program formats, you want to ask yourself these questions. Do I thrive with structure and accountability, or do I prefer to set my own pace? How does my current lifestyle affect my ability to attend scheduled sessions? Do I learn better through discussion and interaction or through reading and reflecting on my own? What kind of support will I need when I inevitably have questions? Also consider the accessibility of the instructors. Are you able to reach out with questions? Is there a community of fellow students to connect with? What happens if you fall behind or need extra help? The right format will make your learning experience not just bearable, but enjoyable and effective. Please do not underestimate how important this factor is in your decision-making process. So the fourth consideration, and this is a big one, is whether the program includes comprehensive business development training. This is something that many certification programs gloss over, but it is absolutely essential for your success. I learned this lesson the hard way. When I finished my initial certification before finding the Cradle Coach Academy, I had all this knowledge about sleep, but no idea how to actually attract clients, set my pricing, create packages, or market my services. I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars and countless hours figuring out the business side all on my own through trial and error. I hired business coaches, took marketing courses, and basically pieced together the business education that should have been a larger part of my certification. When you're evaluating programs, look for these specific business development components. First, does the program include business setup guidance? Do they walk you through naming your business, setting up your legal structure, getting insurance, and creating your service packages and pricing? Second, do they provide customizable materials like sleep plans, intake forms, and client resources? Having these templates ready to go will save you dozens of hours whenever you are starting out. Third, is there marketing support? Do they teach you how to build a brand, create compelling content, and effectively use social media and other channels to attract clients? One of our students, Jessica, was able to hit the ground running with her business and earned back her investment in just 1 month after getting certified. She shared with us, "I am so thankful for this program and the knowledge it gave me to start my business. I am 1 month in and I have already made my initial investment back. I never dreamed something that I thought was fun and fulfilling could turn into such a financial and schedule blessing for my family so quickly." So the business development component is really and truly where the rubber meets the road. It is what transforms your sleep knowledge into an actual business that can support you financially. Do not overlook this critical piece of your certification. So the fifth essential consideration is the hands-on experience component of the program. This is where theory meets reality, and it is absolutely crucial for developing your confidence and your skills as a sleep consultant. So here's the truth. You can study sleep science and methods for months, but nothing prepares you for working with real families like, well, working with real families. Every family is unique with their own dynamics, challenges, and needs. The practical experience of creating sleep plans, supporting parents through implementation, and troubleshooting when things don't go as planned is invaluable. I still remember my first few volunteer clients. Despite all of my book knowledge, I was so nervous. Would my plan work? Could I really help this family? What if they had questions I couldn't answer? Those first experiences were so formative in building my confidence and refining my approach. Plus, they gave me really valuable feedback and testimonials to be able to utilize on my social media platforms and my website. When evaluating certification programs, you want to look for ones that require hands-on experience with real families. At the Cradle Coach Academy, we require our students to work with 5 volunteer clients as part of their certification. But more importantly, we provide support through this process. And that support piece is absolutely critical. You will have questions. You will encounter situations that were not covered in your training. And you will need to have experienced mentors that you can turn to during this phase. I currently have a student in our live program named Emily who is working with her first volunteer family. They have a toddler with suspected autism who is really struggling with falling asleep at the beginning of the night and staying asleep throughout the night. She was feeling really overwhelmed trying to create a plan that would work for their specific situation while keeping the parents' sanity intact. During our mentoring call, we worked through the situation together, coming up with creative solutions that she hadn't considered. The guidance made all the difference for Emily and for the family that she was helping. The reality is that you are going to work with volunteer families, whether your program requires it or not. It's how you build confidence and experience. So you definitely want to choose a program that not only requires this practical component, but also supports you through it with mentoring, feedback, and guidance. So now for that bonus consideration that I promised, the credentials and expertise of the program instructors. This factor can dramatically impact the quality of your education and your preparation for success. I want you to think about it. Would you rather learn from somebody who has been successfully working as a sleep consultant for 10 or more years and has helped thousands of families, or from somebody who got certified last year and has worked with a handful of clients? The depth of knowledge, the range of experiences, and the insights that come from years in the field simply cannot be substituted. At the Cradle Coach Academy, our instructors have a combined experience of over 40 years. Melissa has been a sleep consultant for 15 years, and one of our student mentors, Rachel, has 11 years of experience. That means that they've pretty much seen it all when it comes to sleep challenges and family situations. But we don't stop there. We believe in providing our students with diverse expertise. So we have brought in specialists for certain topics, a lactation consultant for breastfeeding and sleep, a medical doctor and pediatric nurse practitioner for medical considerations, and a pediatric nutritionist for the connection between nutrition and sleep. We also provide continuing education opportunities with several sleep doctors and researchers, keeping our graduates at the cutting edge of sleep science. So why does this matter? Because sleep consulting is not just about sleep. It's about the whole child and the whole family. Having access to experts in these related fields gives you a depth of understanding that will set you apart from others. One of our recent graduates told me, the variety of expert instructors gave me the confidence to work with complex cases that I otherwise would have referred out. I now know exactly what falls within my scope of practice and when to collaborate with other specialists and professionals. So when you're evaluating programs, dig deep into the backgrounds of the instructors. How long have they been in the field? How many families have they worked with? What is their specific expertise? Do they bring in other experts for specialized topics? These questions are going to help you gauge the depth and quality of education that you will receive. So there you have it, the 5 plus a bonus critical factors to consider whenever choosing a sleep consultant certification program. So to recap, we have certification, recognition, and credibility, range of sleep approaches taught, program format that matches your learning style, comprehensive business development component, and then hands-on experience requirements with support. And then don't forget about instructor credentials and expertise. The decision is an investment in your future career, so it is worth taking the time to thoroughly research your options. Don't be afraid to ask detailed questions, request to speak with program graduates, and really dig into what each program offers. Remember, the right certification program does not just teach you about sleep. It prepares you to build a successful business that transforms families' lives while creating the freedom and fulfillment that you are seeking. If you would like to learn more about the Cradle Coach Academy certification program and how we address each of these important factors, we would love to chat with you. You can schedule a call to chat with me directly or to connect with one of our graduates, Michelle. The link to do this is in our show notes, or you can also visit thecradlecoachacademy.com/contact to schedule that call. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Moms Making Money. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend who may be considering becoming a sleep consultant. This is Marli again, and I will see you next time with more insights on building a business that you love while making a meaningful difference in families' lives.